Hey guys, this is your boy Marcus and welcome back to my Master League series, episode number 17, I believe it is to be. And of course, today, three matches in this episode as usual. And of course, there are no, I want to say there's one Europa League match in the middle, but I'm not sure, so I cannot really tell you. But of course, today it's the draft of the FA Cup final, because of course FA Cup final is Swansea City versus Manchester City, but of course it's in the league, and of course we're top of the league, 2 points clear of actually Manchester City, our opponents today. So it's a pretty big match considering that they are a very good side. As David Navas, Nasri, Alejo, Aguero, Demichelis, Company, Hart, Mika Richards, and Clichy, of course. And of course tonight we played Boni and Michu, our good team basically. We played our best players available to us, and I'm sure it was a fantastic game to play, because I really don't remember playing this game at all. But yes, we kicked off, of course, as our home game, of course. Sadai gets on the right hand side, crosses it in. Fernandinho comes in, absolutely fantastic header. Wilshere picks it up here, runs past absolutely everyone. Didn't run past anyone. Gets past Jesus Navas, gets past Mika Richards, gets past Fernandinho, tries to get a shot away, gets a shot away, and he scores the goal. Now, which is really ridiculous about his goals, that he's shooting from a ridiculously tight angle, and he's actually popping the back of the net after scanning about 4 players. And I really just love the fact that I actually did a really good job with him. But Aguero gets through on goal, Aguero gets hacked, and there's a penalty to Manchester City. So let's get back to the footage as quickly as possible, without me going on and gloating and loving on Jack Wilshere. So Williams, of course, takes out a player. Basically Aguero's through on goal, and it was a foul. Nasri takes the penalty, Nasri pops it straight down the middle. And of course, I think Worms and goals doesn't really matter too much anyway. But unlike the last penalty save, which what's his name? Bloody Zabret tried to make against Hull City, it was better than I actually expected. So at halftime, it's 1-1 between the sides, not too bad, considering that Manchester City are considered the strongest side in the Premier League in PES. In my personal opinion, that I consider them the strongest side. But in the 75th minute here, Boni on the ball eventually plays through Michu, who is through on goal. Now, when Michu's through on goal, he usually scores. And he scores with his right foot, hits it across Joe Hart, actually hits it into the near post of Joe Hart, but it doesn't really matter because it's 2-1, and that's all that really matters. So with that being said, it went to the final minutes of the match. We actually beat Man City 2-1, so that sort of changes the table slightly. You'll see the table at the end of this episode, but you'll see that it's very good for us, really, is probably the best thing to say. We only had 4 shots in the game compared to Man City's 5, so of course this sort of changes everything. But man of the match, of course, went to Matip, because he was absolutely beast. He stopped the likes of Aguero actually scoring, and Alejo, and Jovetic came on as well. So it was a very good performance from Matip, from my of course January centre-back signing. So into the Europa League match, first leg against Udinese, and we have one last match at the end of the episode. I believe it's against West Brom, I'm not really 100% sure, but Udinese match, my god, Udinese are an absolutely fantastic side, and they're definitely a side I'd be willing to take on, like maybe later on in my Master League career, maybe move to them, because like they're not bad. I mean, they've got Merkel, they've got Torres, they've got I think it's Torres, how you pronounce it. They've got Muriel up front, of course, and Di Natale as well, and they've got like a lot of potential to become an absolutely amazing side, maybe with the right sort of management behind them, aka moi. So with that being said, we played not our strongest side, but we played a relatively strong side. Warman, Goal, Matip, Williams, and the like of that. Kanyas, Ake or Ake, Michu, Nyang, and basically we're going out there to try and at least get a decent result away from home in the Europa League. That's what it's really all about, trying to get your away games, get them out of the way, try and not win, but at least get a draw, get a couple of away goals is what you really want, because if you go to a home game and you're being beaten, basically with you're like going into the second leg and being beaten, it's a bit more difficult because you have to go a little bit more out there. In the 38th minute here, Williams gets his hand on the ball, Williams scores. So Ashley Williams, I think he was actually not captain because Michu was playing, but the former captain of Swansea, Ashley Williams, scores. So I was like, fair enough, pretty decent. So 45 minutes on the clock, 1-0 to us. So basically I was like going into the second half thinking, well, I just defend, because there's no point trying to go all out there and try and win these matches like by too many goals, because of course you could always concede on our counter-attack. So that being said, 69 pass completion at halftime, not too bad. 46 possession, and not too bad at all. So in the 46th minute here, they try and get down this right-hand side past Zuniga. They actually do get past Zuniga eventually. For Pereira Pereira, I think his name is, actually completely skins me. Crosses it into Di Natale, and Di Natale doesn't get shot away, but Muriel does, and Muriel scores. So 1-0 roughly just after half time. A bit of a kick straight to the bollocks because of the fact that we were just trying to sort of keep the lead. But in the 49th minute, get it here to Kanyas to meet you, like nice little pass and move, get eventually to Nyang. Nyang decides to just not run, but I mean he just decides to sort of slow it down, get it around his player, get complete control of the ball, get a shot away. Keeper makes a good save, but he pats it right into the post. I don't know what the keeper is doing, don't know what the keeper AI even thought of doing there, and Big Mbaya scores. So with that being said, 56 minutes on the clock, literally 8 minutes later, Zuniga just makes a run down his right hand side. No one decides to stop him. Gets past Demetsi eventually. He doesn't actually get past Demetsi. He gets clear straight to Nang, and Nang volleys into the back of the net like an absolute boss. I mean, look at that. If you want to go and rewind and watch that goal again, that's absolutely amazing. So it's a nice bit of skill from Mbaya Nyang. Of course, at the end of this, I'll probably do a nice little goal compilation of all the actual minted goals I scored in the first season, of course. So with that being said, 3-1 the final score. Absolutely fantastic goals scored there. Of course, Mbaya being the man of the match, or Mbia, and it's Mbaya because it's B-A-Y-E. But of course, other results: Fiorentina actually beat Atletico Madrid, Lazio and Tottenham 0-0. We of course beat Udinese, and Wolfsburg beat Schalke. So into the final match of this episode, and it is against West Brom. I was correct from before. So West Bromwich Albion away from away to the Hawthorns to face West Bromwich Albion in the final match of this episode. Of course, there's only like 6 or 7 Premier League matches actually remaining in the actual season. So every game is vital, and every game, of course, is a must-win game for us to actually want to win the title. So Sessegnon, Anelka, Long, Amalfitano, James Morrison, Jakob, Ridgewell, Craig Dawson, Olsen, Gale, I think was at right back. I don't know why Gale was playing our Sale, don't know what it was. But anyway, we played a relatively weak team because, of course, we have the Udinese return leg coming up. So we have Donnelly, Michu still plays, Wilshere, Shelvey playing more or less in nearly every single match, but Pablo as well. But Zabret and stuff like that at the back, of course, I'm bringing them in just to try and give them some form of game time. Come up to the end of the season, try and give them a little bit of rotation. So in the 12th minute of the match here, Gale down the right hand side, gets down this right hand side, skins past 2 players, passes it to Shane Long. Matip cannot keep up with him, Shane Long gets away. I try and hack him actually. Zabret does not go for the ball. I don't know what is with Zabret and hating the ball, but he really hates the ball, and Shane Long scores a pretty decent finish from the Irish player. So Wilshere here on the ball, running past 2 players, gets past 2 players again with his absolute beast of pace, gets a shot away, and Donnelly actually scores a nice, really easy goal for the Welsh striker. Now, Donnelly, I think he's actually real compared to Rufflin, who's like the Welsh under 21 striker who can get from your youth team. But Rufflin's actually a pretty decent player, so is Donnelly. So it doesn't really matter which one you actually played. They're both very, very good. Well, Donnelly actually buy from Swansea, of course. Well, Rufflin you get for your youth team. But at half time, it's 1-0 between the two sides. Not too bad. We've not really played that well as expected. I'm not really going out there to try and win every single match. Just trying to do well in the matches to try and get the Champions League football is what I really care about. But in the 64th minute here, Donnelly gets played for a goal. Donnelly takes a touch. Donnelly gets a shot away. Force makes a good save. No, not Force. Michael makes a good save, but it comes back to John Joe Shelvey, who is basically the unsung hero of my Swansea team, and he scores a nice goal. But in the last minutes of the match, Donnelly gets played for on goal. Donnelly gets a nice shot away. Boaz Michael makes a relatively decent save, gets cleared, and that was it. So, full-time result against West Brom. I know for a fact it's a full-time result because Shelvey hits wide. But full-time result, 2-1 to us, so not too bad at all. Absolutely fantastic results in the Premier League as well as the Europa League. But something usually always goes wrong in the season, and can I really uphold my form? Well, we'll find out next episode, of course. Or next couple episodes. But Donnelly, man of match with 7.0 rating, not bad at all. Boaz Michael, of course, getting a man of match with a 7.0 rating as well. But we're 4 points clear of Manchester City, 7 points clear of Man United, 7 points clear of Chelsea, and 8 points clear of Liverpool. We're 8 points clear of Liverpool? Or more than 8 points clear, 12 points clear of Liverpool. So, basically, it's our title to lose is probably the best thing to say. If we lose one game, it doesn't really matter too much. We'll just make it a little bit tighter at the top. But all the rest to us is basically all the pressure is on us to actually try and succeed and actually win this Premier League in our first year, which is very unlikely, but it could happen. So if you have enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for more, and catch you later.